Hi guys, Coach Jesse here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking you through the stages of skill acquisition. What does that mean? In order for you to learn a new skill, you need to start at the base level. This means the very beginning. And in today's world of instant gratification and wanting things yesterday, people don't really want to work for results anymore, which is a shame because that's the only fucking way you're going to get anywhere. So, with that in mind, I'm going to talk you through how you can go from beginner to advanced on your kettlebell training journey. Now, word of caution before we start, if you have a big ego, please go and leave it outside, go and drop it off somewhere else and then come back to the video and we can get started. I'll wait. Okay, cool. What we're going to do is start here on the left, okay? So, when you are learning a new movement, we want to go from simple to complex, okay? Let's take the kettlebell swing for example. Most people see a kettlebell swing online or they see somebody doing it and they think, whoa, that looks incredible. I want to do that. So what do? They go and grab a kettlebell and they start swinging a kettlebell, even if perhaps they've never used one before or if they have very little experience. This often leads to bad technique, using a load that's incorrect, doing too many reps, putting your back out, getting a little tweak, niggle, ending up injured, and then thinking, man, kettlebells aren't for me. When that's not really the case at all. The problem there was you had no business doing kettlebell swings in the first place. The kettlebell swing is a complex movement, okay? You need to go back, rewind a few steps, and go back to the very start. This means learning how to hip hinge correctly. Move from your hips rather than moving from your spine or your back, okay? If you do not know what a hip hinge is, that's your starting point. If you do know what a hip hinge is and you can demonstrate it, fantastic. You can proceed to the next step, which is learning how to get into a deadlift position, okay? A hip hinge is great, but it doesn't mean that you're actually going to get low enough to pick up a weight from the floor. So, once you understand the next piece of how to get into a deadlift position, what stance do I take? Do I turn my feet out? Etc. All the little nuances that progress the movement, then we keep building. But until you get that tick on the board, you stay exactly where you are. Make sense? Cool. So once you know your deadlift stance and you know how to set up over a kettlebell, you may proceed to grab that kettlebell and lift it from the floor. We've gone from a hip hinge to a deadlift stance to a deadlift. Once you know how to deadlift, then we can think about, okay, the deadlift looks solid, it's repeatable, it's not a one-off, it's not a fluke. Cool. I'm going to get you to start swinging a kettlebell now. Okay? Which takes us to the next piece. Coming down, start light. I will repeat that because it bears repeating. Start light. I don't care how strong you think you are. If you cannot demonstrate good movement with a lightweight, you have no business working with a medium or a heavy weight. Okay? Again, leave the ego at the door. I've written it down here. Leave the ego at the door. Ladies and gentlemen, for God's sake, the ego has no place in the weight room. Start light. If it looks good, if it feels good, if you are still hitting the movement standard, doing the exercise with the correct joints and the right muscle groups, fantastic. You have earned the right to proceed to a medium or a heavy load. But you must start light, show that you actually have the skill to do the movement light, and then as it gets heavier, your technique should not change. Okay? I don't care if you're lifting a 6 kilo kettlebell or a 60 kilo kettlebell. Your form should look pretty much the same. The movement standards are still being adhered to, neutral spine, knees tracking toes, all of this good stuff. The muscle groups are still being used appropriately as designed. Okay, so if you're doing a swing, I want your glutes doing the work, not your lower back. All of these things should be taking place. Now, you can see I'm getting a little bit fired up. It's because I'm passionate, it's because I care about this stuff, and it's because I see people doing it wrong so frequently, hence why I've put this video together. The next thing we're going to do is go from slow to fast. Still using the kettlebell swing as our example. Is the kettlebell swing a fast movement? Yes, it is. It's a ballistic. It is a quick lift. I agree and I understand that. However, if you're somebody who is new to kettlebells or is just learning the ropes, I want you to swing slowly. I want you to feel what's happening within your body as that kettlebell moves through space. Because when you're doing ballistics, when you are swinging a kettlebell, it transfers energy all throughout your body, and you need to learn where to position yourself in relation to the load. As the kettlebell goes up and forwards, it wants to pull you onto your toes. So how do you react? If I start getting you doing things at maximum speed, things might not end so well for you. It's like driving a car. You know, when you had your L plates, when you were first learning to drive, the instructor, you know, or your parents didn't say, all right, Johnny, floor it. They didn't tell you to do that. They said, gently press down on the accelerator. You go from slow to fast, in that order. Okay, if you can't do something slowly, you won't be able to do it fast. And this is the thing that happens, especially with our grinds, with our, you know, our quick lifts that we love doing so much with our kettlebells, is fast movement, fast exercise disguised as poor movement. Okay, so if you're doing things really rapidly, you might be thinking, yeah, that looks good, it feels good, I'm moving really quick. But if you slow it down, if you actually take a video, slow-mo, what you see, you'll start to pick up a lot of things. You'll start to see the finer details of your swing and be like, ooh, my heels come off the ground, ooh, my shoulders aren't packed, ooh, my abs aren't braced, ooh, my glutes are definitely not squeezed there. All these little things. So if you're doing something really quickly, at a rapid rate, you don't have the time to fine-tune it. Which is why, again, we start with a deadlift, a slow lift, and then we build to, you know, maybe a dead stop swing. You do one swing, park the bell, and repeat, because you're going up the ladder. Okay, you start at the bottom, and you slowly climb your way up the ladder. Then the last piece is low reps to high reps. For the love of God, stop doing so many reps. I mean it. The amount of people who, you know, upon learning a new exercise, and they're like, oh, I want to experience this as much as possible in the shortest amount of time possible. Therefore, I'll do as many reps as I can. No. I don't care if you're military pressing, I don't care if you're doing goblet squats, swings, clean, snatches, whatever it is, start with low reps. I want you to show me, I want you to prove to me, the instructor, the coach, but also to yourself that, hey, if I'm doing 5 swings, all 5 swings look and feel identical. If they don't, that's a red flag you need to address. Okay? So, if you like squatting, terrific. You don't have to do 20 in one go. Alright? You might do 4 sets of 5. That's still 20 reps. Or you might decide to do 10 sets of 2. Hey, 2 squats were good, 3, 4, and 5 were a bit sketchy. I'm going to bring that number down. You bring the goalpost closer to you so you can actually score that goal and create success for yourself rather than setting yourself up for failure. So, start here. Simple movement with a light load, doing it slowly for a low number of reps, just a couple, because I want to see ticks on the board. I don't want to see crosses. If I can avoid those crosses by doing these things, then, my friend, you can walk yourself over here to the Holy Grail, where everybody wants to be. They want to do complex movements, heavy weights, they want to do it fast, and you want to do it for high reps. You can only get here by starting over there. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it gives you an understanding of how to acquire and learn a new skill, whether it's a swing, whether it's a clean, whether it's getting yourself to snatching, whether it's to military pressing heavy weights, whatever it is for you, understand that's the progression. Those are your stepping stones. Start with a simple movement, start with a light movement, start with a slow movement, start with low reps, and build yourself to more complex exercises, heavier loads, with quicker speed, and then increasing your work capacity with higher reps by all means. Okay? So if you're still watching, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it, I hope you've learned something, and I hope it can help teach you how to learn any skill that you want, any exercise or any movement that you want with the kettlebell by using this framework. It works if you work the plan, okay? And lastly, because it is important, leave your ego at the door. If you can't do something, don't get down about it, don't get pissed off, don't do it anyway. Go back a step, refine what you're doing, troubleshoot it, drill it, and then come back and see if you can do it better the next time. So there you have it, guys. That is the stages of skill acquisition in kettlebell training.